Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. And today I want to share with you guys yet another Invicta watch for our 25 days of Invicta series. So the one I want to share with you guys today is one that I'm pretty excited to share because it's one that I don't always get my hands on just because I already have one, and I have so many watches that are very similar to this just due to sponsorship deals that I've had with many different companies, from Sterling to Neymar to Alexander to Boulder. I mean, the list goes on and on. And this is the watch right here, and some of you who've been watching my videos know what this is. This is your Invicta Grand Diver, not to be confused with the Pro Diver. Really, the only difference is the Grand Diver is larger, the Pro Diver is more about the 39-41 millimeter. I'm not sure completely offhand, but the Grand Diver just pumps that size up a little bit where you get that 47 millimeter watch case. Now this watch, if it looks familiar, and again subjective, the color and combination is not. It's basically designed after a Rolex Submariner. It is Invicta's homage watch to a Submariner, and it's a fine timepiece for what you're paying. It really is untouchable. I just put a video up about Rolex again. I did the other day. It was, again, I'm not brand bashing Rolex. I think it's a great watch, but I just personally, for what it cost, wouldn't spend the money. When you get this watch for $170, it really is amazing that they can produce this and give it to you for that price. Now, if you love Rolex, buy Rolex, no problem. But I personally would never spend that kind of money on a watch that, yeah, maybe it's more accurate, maybe, but you can never come back and be like, oh, it's going to last longer. That's not a guarantee. I just had a guy comment the other day. One of his Navy friends went diving with his Rolex, just got it, and the thing fell apart underwater. Had water in it, big issue. He got to replace because it was under warranty. But just there you go. Things happen, and it can happen with any brand. So just because you spend $8,000 doesn't mean you're going to get something that's going to outlast a watch that costs $170. That's how life is. Anybody who says otherwise is just talking out their ass, right? So let's talk a little bit more about this watch. What I like about this watch, one thing that guys who are looking for a homage watch to a Rolex Submariner, they don't like, is the fact that it says Invicta, it's engraved in the side. And I think I like the fact that they did that because there's no question that this is Invicta. You're not trying to wear a fake. And honestly, I don't condone buying fake watches, but honestly, the fakes out there are so good nowadays that you have to put the watch under macro to really tell the differences in finish compared to, and I'm not saying all fakes, but if you get a decent fake in the $300 to $400 price range, you really can't tell the difference by the naked eye. You would never tell unless you really were a Rolex expert, you had a Submariner, and you're really gonna scrutinize the watch under macro, or maybe notice some of those really fine details you would need a loupe to really see. Now, maybe if you're a real Rolex connoisseur, maybe by unscrewing the crown and turning the bezel, or not the bezel, but turning the crown, you might feel a difference in the quality of the movement. Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. But again, the average person would never tell a difference. And just like the average person who is just looking to have a nice watch, looking to have a watch that's gonna, look nice on the wrist, tell time, you really can't go wrong with Invicta. I've said that over and over again. I've compared so many watches. For the price, it really is amazing. So let's talk a little bit more about this. Invicta does basically, they add their engraving. Invicta polishes the center of the band, whereas your Rolex does not do that. Again, Rolex would never be making anything blue and black, although some of you may, again, so a lot of the Rolexes I think are fun. I think it's pretty funny, guys who, they name the Rolex, like if it's green, they call it the Hulk, and it's like they'll bash on Invicta for having Marvel watches and think they're ridiculous, but you'll call the Rolex the Pepsi, Rolex because of the color, or the Batman edition. It's like, make up your mind, but anyway, this is, a pretty cool color combination. You have this nice kind of what I would consider like a royal blue around this coin-edged bezel. And this was a Jason Taylor edition. So you have that black mother of pearl. Not saying all Jason Taylor editions have black mother of pearl. This is an edition Jason Taylor gets together with Invicta and comes up with kind of designs and styles to put his name on, and just, they're really no different in quality. They're just using his name, and he's involved in the color combinations. But I like the color combinations. I'm a big fan of black mother of pearl, and I've said in other videos that some of the Invicta mother of pearl that I've had in the past on one of my Invictas, I just got a bad piece. You can't really tell it's mother of pearl. This is very subtle, but you can really see that it's got that color shift in the black mother of pearl. You have lume on the indices, although the Invicta lume is not super bright, there is lume on it. You have an exhibition case back showing that Seiko NH35 movement. Again, mirror polishing down the center of the links, a matte or a brush finish on the rest of the links, and the case is actually done in a combination of brushed and mirror polished finish. Now with the Jason Taylor edition, this particular one here, you do have some diamonds on this watch. So at your 12 o'clock, at your 6 o'clock, and your 9 o'clock position, there are on those indices, and you probably can't see it by the video, maybe you can. You can probably see a little bit. There are 3 genuine diamonds, and it's not a lot, but they're, you know, they're very, very small diamonds. But the size on these, because I know you guys are gonna ask me, is you have on total diamond weight 0.03 carats, so very small, but still it's kind of a nice touch. When the light hits it, you can definitely see there's diamonds on there, and they are on a black marker, so the diamonds are actually clear, but they appear to be black, but they are clear diamonds. You have your Cyclops. There's some lume on the hands. Cyclops on most of these watches, on the Invictas anyway, is, I'd probably say magnification is probably double, maybe, based on my eye. I think it's pretty good. I know it's kind of a gripe with some homage watches. A lot of guys who buy them, the Cyclops is never as great as a Rolex, but come on, guys. I mean, 170 bucks versus 8,000. I mean, if you want the Cyclops to be perfect, go buy the Rolex, you know? But for $170, this is amazing value, a great timepiece, and you're getting that Seiko NH35 movement, a very time-tested movement. It's used in many watches across the board, tons of brands that cost far more than this, and Aragon is one of those brands that uses this movement in a lot of their watches. I have several of these movements in my watches, and I've been nothing but happy with it. Now, again, if you're the kind of guy who, and I don't want to get on a discussion about movements and quality of movement, that's a whole different ballgame, one of which I'm not really qualified to tell you guys which one's better. All I can tell you is my experience with all the Invicta watches and all the other brands I have, everything still works. You know, so, and I come back with that argument because guys are like, some guys will come out and be like, you'll have your Invicta for 6 months and it'll fail. And, you know, people just talk out their behind. And, you know, I've had great luck with all my watches. If I ever have one that fails, I will do a video and tell you about that. But so far, over 5 years, no issues whatsoever. So that's really about it. Oh, one more thing. Jason Taylor logo is actually on the clasp, and the Jason Taylor logo is kind of like what I would consider like sort of a crown with the JT initials engraved in the back of the clasp. So I think it's an awesome watch. I love the Grand Diver. I love the Pro Diver. My Grand Diver that I have, I originally bought as just say, hey, you know, when I first started getting involved in watch collecting or collecting Invictas mainly, or before my collection really grew, you know, I wanted to get something in rose and gold. You guys know I love that color combination, and they had it in the Grand Diver, and I was like, all right, well, I'll wear this to work because I don't want to wear my more expensive Invictas. And finally, I just got to the point where I just like the watches so much, and I enjoy wearing them. I'm not really too concerned with if I scratch one, and I rarely do. I mean, the only time I have any kind of scratches if I have a mirror polished watch and I'm sitting at my desk and my desk is made of glass, that will scratch any mirror polished watch. But not bad, you know. I mean, you buy things to wear and enjoy, and I don't want to leave them sitting there like there's some, you know, a trophy in a glass case somewhere where I'm not going to get any enjoyment out of. I enjoy wearing them. I enjoy people ask me about them. I love my coworkers like, what do we got on today? I love when the public sees me and are always looking at my wrist, and they come to know me as the watch guy. I just love sharing this passion with you guys, and Invicta is, again, hands down my favorite brand. I love the watch, and let me show you guys what it looks like on the wrist, because I have a tendency to keep rambling on, but I am who I am, and I enjoy telling you guys this stuff. So let me tell you about the specifics. Again, this is the Japanese movement. The watch is made, or the movement is made in Malaysia, is what I'm getting on here. NH35 Seiko automatic movement, 47 millimeters in case diameter, 16 millimeters in case thickness, and of course, unidirectional rotating bezel. You guys ready? Oh yeah. And I will tell you this, that this bezel compared to my other Grand Diver is definitely a little smoother, a little easier to turn, and I think it's just because you have that coin edge on here, where my other one is more of a scalloped bezel, so you don't get the grip as much. This one here is very, very smooth, and like I said, I mean, all the Invicta watches I have, I mean, it's all pretty smooth. Some of you guys, you know, or some of you guys who watch me think that that's an indication of quality. You know, we won't make that argument. I think it works fine. Again, 0.03 carats of approximate diamond weight, 990 feet of water resistance, 30 ATM or 300 meters. Your standard Invicta deployment clasp used on pretty much all the Invicta watches. The bracelet and case is of course stainless steel. You do have that screw down crown, flame fusion on the crystal, and that's really about it. Not really too much else to say about the watch. Price point on this can be had through the link in the description through Bulldog Enterprise. The gentleman is nice enough to be sponsoring a lot of these videos with great watches to share with you guys. I mean, you're going to be seeing pretty much, I mean, the Invicta videos are not going to stop now. Before, when I make these videos, I would have to actually wait till I bought one, get one from a coworker, you know, and I don't buy 25 Invictas a month. With Bulldog Enterprise, I'm going to be getting a lot of product to share with you guys, and he really has some of the best prices, and again, the best pictures. So if you want to see some close-ups on this, click the link, head on over to his store, and you'll see some awesome close-up shots of this watch. And then you may want to make a purchase. Got plenty in stock, so definitely check it out. You can get it before Christmas, and I think this is just a great timepiece. You really can't go wrong with a Grand Diver. It really is an exceptional value. All right, so that's about it. Now let me go ahead and throw it on the wrist. Now I have a 7-inch wrist. I'm about 5'7.5", and I weigh about 170 pounds. So this will give you an idea of what a 47mm watch, which is definitely a watch that back in the day was huge. I mean, that used to be, when I used to rock some of those Jacob watches, 47 was massive. And nowadays, 47 to me is like, wow, it's pretty small. But it's still a great watch. It still has a nice wrist presence. And what's cool about the Grand Diver is the fact that I'm pretty sure I haven't seen too many this size, that it's one of the few watches where you can get that Submariner feel, that look of a Submariner, that classic Rolex look, with a watch that's larger. So most of those Submariner homage watches, they're making them to be not, it's like a borderline copy. It's like, it doesn't say Rolex, it's not a Rolex, but they're making it very specifically to fool people as being a Rolex. Now you get close to it, yeah, it doesn't have the Rolex name, but this watch here is much larger, so nobody's gonna really look at this and say, oh, you know, is that a Rolex? You know, they're not, because if they know, of course, that Rolexes aren't this large. So this watch is unsized, again, because it is on loan, but I'll do the best I can to just show you what it looks like on my 7-inch wrist. Kind of lock this clasp down here. Hopefully by the video you can see the mother of pearl in the face there and some of those diamonds. Just a good looking, clean, basic watch. And you know, one thing I tend to find myself wearing, like the Grand Diver, and of course like my Neymar watches, and kind of these smaller watches. You know, when I'm just kind of around the house, you know, I don't always want to be at my desk wearing my, you know, Grand Arsenal, or, you know, one of my Venom watches. You know, it's just too large to be typing on the computer. Although, you know, when I go down to my little drinking spot and I get my work done down there, I still wear watches like that in those size. But, you know, if I'm laying in bed or you know, hitting the sack or whatever, I may want to wear something a little bit smaller, you know. And I find myself wearing watches of this size when I go to bed, or if I'm going to be working out in the garage, or if I'm going to be, you know, doing a little yard work out back. It's just kind of a smaller, a little bit more comfortable watch. Doesn't get in the way, you know, when you're trying to, you know, work on something. And let's face it, a lot of times though, when I'm going to be doing anything that's involved getting dirty, generally I will take a watch off, as why risk scratching a watch or damaging a watch if you're going to be doing something pretty physical like that. But nonetheless, you know, a watch like this is great to have in your collection if you know, like I said, you want to wear a watch, whether it be out and about or just something a little more comfortable before bed. I tend to not wear a very large watch to bed, so I'll throw on something like this, and I still got a watch on my wrist, and I can still tell time, and it's all good. So, yeah, guys, I think it's a great timepiece. I love it. It's probably going to be, probably will pick up another Grand Diver in the near future. There's so many cool ones to get out there. It's hard to, you can't have them all, right? So, all right, guys, well, thank you very much for watching the video. Tell me what you guys think of this watch. If you want to make a purchase, please do it through my links. It does help to support the channel. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel, but click the bell to be notified anytime I upload a new video. Check out the links in the description for all the different stores. I've contracted with a couple different places, so guys, even if you watch my videos, and you know, a lot of people, I get about 150,000 views per month, and that's spread across the watches, the smart home tech, my cars, you know, whatever, the hot tub reviews, you know, whatever I decide to put up there, it's spread across that. And some videos get tons of views, other videos just get some views. It really depends on the content and what I'm putting up. But you know, I do get nasty comments from time to time, and obviously the folks who do comment, if they're nasty enough, they do get banned. But my point is that they still watch the content, and whether you like it or hate it, if you are a Rolex lover and you're like, I have to have Rolex. I did put 2 links on any Rolex video where I found 2 sites that have pre-owned Rolexes, a couple different ones. One called Auction King, and the other one I forget the name. Check out those links too. You know, I'm more than, you know, I love watches across the board. So whether I like Rolex or not, or think it's a great value or not, and agree to disagree with lots of folks out there, it's just not one for me. And it seems that people have a problem with that. But you know, it doesn't mean I won't help to get you what you guys want on your wrist. So a couple of resources for you there for pre-owned Rolexes. If that's your cup of tea, click the link, check them out. It might be helpful. Otherwise, guys, if you love the Invictas, check out the Invicta Stores link. Check out the Bulldog Enterprises link for this particular watch. And you guys have a wonderful day and take care.